All right, guys. I want to be continuing my discussions on choosing the best breed. Of course, last one of the last videos I released was addressing the number of years that a sow can be kept for, and we said that was about 7 to 8 years. Although I advised and gave my own take on it that you should hold your sow for probably maximum of 5 years. Sorry, 7 to 8 years rather, not months. So then I said holding your sow for 5 years or maximum 5 years will be good, although it can stay for 7 to 8 years. I want to be discussing in this video some of the factors, because for you to be able to hold your sow for even 5 years and enjoy your breeding process, there are certain things that you must have done when you selected that particular sow. Not every sow is good for breeding, and these factors I'll be talking about are some of the things you should check out for before you decide that you are going to be using this particular sow. Now, number one is that the sow must have vigor. It must not be a passive sow. It must come with that force, that vigor, and it should be a standout among its mates. Now, you can see obviously there are sows here that are literally all the sows here are very you can see those two we have right there. Those are very good sows. You can see them. If you get into the pen, you would see the vigor I talk about. Those two you see, they are excellent sows, and there are other ones there. All the sows here are actually very great. Now, one other thing you need to look out for is their legs. You need to look at their legs. Ensure that they have strong legs. Ensure that they have also good teeth. Now, some of these things I mentioned, if you don't have the experience, you would feel it's not necessary. But when you have gotten a TN cross, that the TN cross had those three now, they are sows that are excellent for breeding. Now, the TN cross, it's scrotum. This, in short, this thing you can see right here that I'm trying to zoom in on. It wasn't complete. So if you're not careful, you have to check out for all these details. So check out the teeth of the sow you want to hold for breeding. Check it out, and sometimes you have to count it, because I want you to know that the production rate of your animal is also dependent on the number of teeth they have. So there should be 6 teeth on each side. At least there should be 6 teeth on each side. So those are some of the things you need to look out for. Make sure they have good teeth, and also make sure they are not like limping, standing on their toe, or all those things. If you need to watch the issue of legs, because if a sow is having leg issue from the start, I want you to know that when that sow gets pregnant, it's going to aggravate the issue, because obviously it's going to be much more heavy. So you need to make sure the legs are perfect, they are not bent or whatever. So now also you need to ensure you don't breed sows that are lean. You need to understand that no matter how good your selection process is, sometimes some animals just turns out, like if I can show you this male now you see right here. If I'm going to reserve any male here, I'm going to reserve this. Now, but this male right here, you may not be able to identify what I'm saying. This male right here, this one right here. If you see the difference, this one is far bigger. So even though they are from the same mother, so you can understand that sometimes some animals just turn out different from their colleagues. So if you notice a female pig, being lean, you don't want to breed that female pig. You need to check for leanness. So you need to be sure that you don't breed. Make sure there is at least a 17 millimeter fat of for your pigs. Like they should have at least 17 millimeter fat. And this of course, some of these things are not easily measured, so you have to just sometimes use your guts and your understanding of if you understand what I'm saying, this once you feed your animals well, you can notice that this is not a lean animal. Now also, I already talked about the issue of mating your pigs when they are small. I don't think I need to say that so much today, because if you some farmers out there who just love to breed animals, so when they see a small animal, even though it's ready for mating, they don't even though it's ready for mating, I've told you already that you don't have to always mate an animal because it's sexually matured. You should also always wait for at least the second or the third eat period. Don't serve those gilts too early. Make sure they attain that strong body size. These things will help you for longevity. So once you start serving an animal when it's small, of course you're already killing the lifespan for it when it comes to breeding, which is not nice. You see what? This is why we need to separate these animals. You see what's going on there? So some other things that will help your animal for longevity when it comes to breeding is that you should ensure that your animal has your pregnant pigs, when you start mating them, they have enough they have exercises. They're able to exercise their body for the first at least during the first half of their pregnancy. So you don't want to just incarcerate them in such a way that they can't move around, they can't exercise their body, because at least during the first half you should give them the opportunity to exercise. And then also, don't give moldy food to animals, to your pregnant sows or to your breeding animals. It's not nice. Now, this thing I want to say next is something that I need you to watch out for, very importantly. If you notice an animal being having the first litter, the first 2 liters being poor, for instance, you notice that it's not breastfeeding well, you notice that it's not taking care of its children well, or you notice that it's whatever the situation you discover, please immediately call that sow. Because if you want to keep an animal for a long time on your farm, you don't want an animal to be bad when it comes to taking care of its babies. So once it has its first 2 liters, the reason why we say first 2 liters is because we know that the first liter could be as a result of maybe something. But once it's consistent and you notice that this animal is not very good, maybe it's aborted, maybe it's whatever the case, just call that sow very quickly. Then also be very careful of the boy you're using for your animals. I think I've said that in a previous video. Some people just have just one boa, and then the boa has spent maybe like 3 years on their farm. It's very heavy, it's very big, and then they are raising new sows, and a new gilt, maybe this is their first time for even being crossed. You are giving that new gilt to a very heavy sow. It could lead to fracture, it could affect the legs, it could lead to leg problems. So you don't want to give very heavy you don't want to give a gilt, a newly bred pig sow to you understand what I'm saying, to a very heavy boa. And also, when you notice that your animal is sick, one of the things you can do is always to take it out from that environment and ensure that it has a more like a settled, a conducive environment that will help it to recover. Sometimes they recover just because you change them to a better environment. So, and that's why I always advise you have at least an extra room or thereabout that is not being used, so that you can easily use it for moments like this. And then also, don't forget that good nutrition is very, very vital. So always ensure you feed your gilt and your sow, pregnant ones or the ones whichever stage they are in. As long as you aim to use them for a longer breeding process, make sure you feed them well. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.